敵を食らう。
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Thursday evening with OCCScrims, when this is our last Gold Division matchup of the year. It is between Void and Project Proteus. I am Peeps, your lovely camera person, I guess we're calling us now. And I'm here with our commentators for the evening, Captain Jack, Dad, Captain Jack, and Widow Faker. How's it going, Peeps?
It is going all right, Peeps. Thank you so much. Welcome, everybody, to the final gold match of the season of the year. As Peeps had said, Void versus Project Proteus. Want to thank Loudtrex for the sub, as he is rooting from the stands today, it looks like, for his team tonight. So let's go ahead and get some love in the chat there for both teams going in. Widow, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you, Captain Jack?
Doing good. Partially eating a sandwich in between breaths.
Sandwiches are delicious. I did not hear that correctly.
I said eating a sandwich between breaths.
That's not what I heard, but we'll go with it!
No, because everybody thinks I'm an alien because I don't breathe when I commentate. So
I mean, you don't. You're 100% correct.
Again.
Should be investigated.
So how do you think these teams are going to go against each other tonight?
You know what? Both teams play really strong. I think Proteus actually beat Void last time, if I'm correct. I might be wrong. I'm not sure. But both teams are really strong. They both have really great players. They're both really coordinated. So I think it'll be a really great game. Really big struggle on both sides. And I'm really interested. It's going to be back and forth. And you're going to be having to catch your breath a lot because I know they're going to be tough fights.
Probably. Well, let's go ahead and see what they got going into our first match now on Eichenwald. Peeps, are you East Coast or West Coast?
Initiating match.
I'm actually
East Coast.
central. I'm in Oklahoma City.
What?
So.
Oh yeah!
Well, how about that? You wrong, Loutrex. You so wrong. He's not West either. You so wrong again.
That's toxic.
2 strikes. Out of here. Get out of here. Goodness
I
gracious.
mean, he is right.
Such
I'm
toxicity
from
in
the
our
East
chat.
Coast originally. I'm originally from New Jersey, but I live in Oklahoma City.
Whoop.
So you're both right.
So you're from the East Coast and you're an East Coaster, and there's no changing that. It'll always be that way.
Oh no, I lived in the Midwest for a majority of my life growing up and became an East Coaster, so it'll depend, I suppose. Alright, let's go ahead and see how our teams are setting up going into our first match here on Eichenwald. We're going to see defense. I believe it's going to be Void with Project Proteus being the first on the attack. We're going to see Void coming in with Lucifer on the Reaper and Abstract on the Genji. Interesting combination coming in. Sipsty and Phoenix Sith coming in on the Rhine. Diva and Dad and Mom taking up the healer roles as the Ana Zenyatta. K10 and Mauden coming in on the Farah McCree with Sniv and Danks on the Ryan, Zarya, and Cake Slapper and Trickster with the Moira Brig. Let's go ahead and see how this is going to go for these teams as we start things off. Poke battle already commencing as we look towards the bridge choke there. K10 getting the first kill there on Lucifer, but Abstract ends up taking out Danks to start things off, getting in the backline, doing a lot of damage. Retreating back to the team for help as Phoenix Sith's barrier goes down. All around the bridge right there, but without their lead tank right there, Danks, going to be really hard to get in there and do some damage. Danks now back in, but Sipsy takes out K10, start things off with the Rockets. Abstract following up on Mauden, and it looks like this might be a hold. Abstract also getting a kill on Sniv there. Going to make it a 3v6 fight, but thanks to the spawn advantage that we see on the side of Project Proteus, that's going to really help them be able to get back into the fight. We're going to see Abstract get back into the back line, get some healing from the rest of the team before going back in, trying to get a couple. Here comes Danks trying to push through. Sniv using those shields to try to keep him protected. Danks ends up taking out Abstract. The Lucifer gets the double kill on Danks and K10. Here comes the Coalescence out from Trickster right now, trying to heal and do damage at the same time as Cake Slapper ends up taking out Dad. Phoenix Sith coming down with the hammer down, ends up taking down 2. Mom able to follow up on 1 as the Transcendence ends up coming out from them, trying to take the point. Lucifer ends up getting the kill onto Trickster. See, as we see Sipsy end up taking out Mauden right there. Despite getting the first tick, that's going to be another hold right there. I'm going to take a second to hand it over to Widow before they push in again. What do you got, Widow?
A couple things. I want to see this Pharah by Mauden playing a little bit more aggressive, kind of playing a ground Pharah a lot, which is kind of, it's a little awkward. It's a little weird, but they're not really paying too much attention to Lucifer either. He's flanking a lot, and they're not really paying attention until it's too late. The Transcendence from Mom was a little weird. There's a couple things that are working and things that aren't working. Like, that was a big stagger on a Trickster. They're going to have to spend a long time to reset. But Project really needs to work with the picks they're getting. They need to get a little more aggressive with those picks because they have a huge spawn advantage, and they're not using it.
I 100% agree with you there. It just seems like they're a little off their game. Let's see if they can get themselves back in. Here comes the Blade from Abstract, looking to get in there, get a couple picks. Ends up taking out Cake Slapper as Mom takes out Trickster. Sipsy following up on K10. Abstract ends up getting Danks at the end of that Blade. It's making it a 6v1 fight right now as Phoenix Sith uses the Fire Strike to take out Sniv. ends up pushing back the only remaining member of the team, Mouden, back into spawn to regroup with the rest of the team. Less than 40 seconds on the clock, still only the point. Bacon, I want to comment on your comment in the chat. Maybe I'm losing it, but is the stream looking smoother? It is. We're actually doing, I believe, 1080p tonight. So we've been doing it most of the week, seeing how it works. And hopefully you're seeing all this damage in actual awesome high def as the team kill comes in once again for the side of, or the High Noon comes out just to keep them off the point. And unfortunately, Trickster preventing them from even getting anywhere close to the objective. Wow, that was an incredibly strong hold from the side of Void. Wouldn't you say, Widow?
I have to agree 100% it was. Projekt wasn't really... They weren't seeming to use any of their abilities or their, their ults or anything to their advantage. They were just kind of continuously pushing in and not really doing anything. There was no coordination on their side. And things like, you have a McCree on the enemy team who's able to kill you, who's able to pin you down. If you're not able to be an effective Pharah, you're going to want to switch off Pharah regardless. You could have an ult, you could be ready to blast them in the face. If you're not effective, your ult's not going to be effective. They weren't really... There wasn't enough space being made for their Pharah, their comp wasn't working for them, and they sort of switched to maybe a full dive. Full dive would have jumped on the enemy's healers and really take them out really easily. But yeah, it was a really strong hold on the side of Void. They were doing a great job, they were getting really good picks. Even when Projekt would pick them, get someone on their team, they would just kind of come back, hold strong, play smart. So it was really good on their part, but let's see if Projekt can hold them off now.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and see what's coming out for the teams right now. Abstract and Lucifer coming in on the Ash Sombra combination. Definitely interesting. Probably looking to get hacks in the back line with Abstract following up with the Dynamite. Phoenix Sith and Sipsty coming out in the Ryan Diva combo again. And Mom and Dad coming in as the Ana Brig combo this time around. Trickster on the May with Maud Dan. I hope I said that right this time. Thank you for the correction in the chat there, Helix. K10 coming in on the Moira with Kate Slapper on the Zenyatta, and Danks and Sniv coming in as the Ryan Zarya once again. Let's see if this will be enough. 3 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock. Abstract getting the first pick there on K10. As somebody's on the point, it's Lucifer. Already looking to get that first tick. Oh, I can't tell if they actually...
It was very close.
It was really close. It was really close, but Abstract cleaning up right now. Taking out Maudan and Cake Slapper right there. Trickster ends up getting taken out by Dad. Taking out Sniv. And the rest of Projekt Proteus incredibly cleaned up right there. Very strong first game. Mom as Zenyatta with play of the game. What? I am any Zenyatta plays of the game. That is right. All right. Well, props to Mom. 53% kill participation on the Zenyatta. Holy goodness! I think Mom's going for those bacon stats and those snow stats. Holy goodness! Callie, this is actually on PC. Although we do have members of both our teams that play, as well as those that are part of our community that play on PS4 and Xbox One as well. So after our first match between Void and Projekt Proteus, Void very incredibly strong there on Eichenwald. I was expecting just a little bit more there. Widow, what do you think kind of went right and wrong there? This is Abstract's first game, so and also I think Cake Slapper and
I think, Cal, to answer your question, sorry to cut you guys off. The reason you're seeing button pads on the UI is because as I control the camera, I'm using a controller to control the camera. So it's not that they're playing with controller. You're seeing my UI, and I'm using a controller right now. So.
There you go. It's just easier to use a controller, makes the camera look a lot smoother. Vice how I do it. I'm always like clicking around. Just makes it look a lot smoother. I believe they even do that in Overwatch League, don't they? Don't they use controllers for like moving around the cameras and whatnot in game?
I don't know. I think I may have heard that at one point somebody does, but in either way, it's easier for me, so I use it.
Doesn't matter either way. Amara, 6 months in a row subscription. Thank you very much for your support. I want to remind you all that we are doing a fundraiser for our special holiday event leading up to the All-Star Scrim coming this Saturday. It's called Heroes Never Die, and it's for the California Fire Foundation. Our goal is $500. As you can see, we're already a little over halfway to reaching our goal for this time around. We do have a various amount of prizes at certain won't get into, but our grand prize, once we hit our goal, is going to be giving away a Nintendo Switch. And note, all the money that we raise is going straight to the California Fire Foundation. All the prizes have come from things like the subs, the cheers, anything that we have received from the community. This is our way of giving back to all of you for the amazing support that y'all give us. So please continue to stay tuned. We got gold tonight, platinum tomorrow to make room for Saturday, which is our All-Star Scrim, all at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, Widow, again, how do you feel this kind of all turned out? Like, Void just was not letting anything go, and Projekt was having a really hard time focusing in on those kills, as you were saying. So, what should we be expecting?
It kind of seemed like, hold on, I'm just making some swaps, so I'm a little distracted. Again, Proteus didn't really seem like they were working in any sort of coordination. The heroes they were playing weren't working. They could have run an Ashe there to really kind of get some poke damage in and then really work on that shield. As Zenyatta would have been huge there. I don't think they were running a defensive ult at all. They were running a Moira and, I forgot what other healer. I want to see a break. But they were running a McCree, which wasn't really able to really do anything. McCree's ult's very funky on attack. So if they would have made swaps, that would have been an easier kind of push for them. They were kind of making this difficult for themselves as they could. They weren't really getting good use out of their Pharah because their Pharah was just really being pinned down and poke dash. You didn't get to ult, you know? So there was a lot of, like, swaps and things that they could have done, but they didn't. You can kind of say that they were kind of struggling to figure out what to do. They were kind of just, like, ramming their heads against a wall. But, it's a second map now. Let's see if they can break the stronghold of Void now.
All right, let's go ahead and see if they can make it happen. Our next map is going to be Volskaya Industries. I forgot to mention, if you're interested in donating, you definitely want to look below the chat. And I know that it can get a little confusing. We got a lot of buttons down there, but the one you're focused on is OCCS Cares-Donate. That will be going towards the campaign to help the victims and first responders of the California wildfires. If you wondered what the California Fire Foundation is about, directly to OCC by hitting the donate way down near the bottom of the screen right there. You also have links to our YouTube and Facebook groups as well. If you want to get subscribed and entered in on that, if it's your first night joining us, welcome. We are glad to have you. We are the Overwatch Cavalry Club. And also, if you're interested in playing Silver to Diamond divisions, right now you're seeing our Gold division tonight. Application and coach applications for Masters and Grandmasters are also below. So let's go ahead and get into the action here on Volskaya Industries. Widow, how are the teams looking?
So far we are starting out with a Torb on the side of Void, which we always love, and Tribal is very proud of his Torb. So we will see how that works out. We have Torb, Sombra, which could actually really be huge with any shatters or grabs or anything. We know Rift is really good Sombra. We have Genji and... Is that dive with a Genji? That's okay. That's goats with a Genji. Genji goats. We're ready. We're ready for Genji goats. Let's go.
Looks like. Let's go ahead and see if Projekt Proteus has what it takes to push in here. It looked like they were. It looks like Helix got a little stalled in. I'm not exactly for certain what's going on with Projekt. They were just kind of like stopping and starting. I don't know what they were waiting for. K10 ends up taking out the turret to start things off. So gonna leave Torb a little bit defenseless right there as they go ahead and start pushing the point. The tackle comes in as Danks takes out Phoenix Sith to start things off. Sips T trying to get the pin as well as the sleep dart goes in on Danks right there. But not a lot of follow-up to end up taking him out. Tribalize ends up taking out Cake Slapper on the point as the turret goes back out. Sniv taking out Rift. Back and forth right now. Takes out Sips T. Helix Snake taking out Tribalize's turret. K10 following up on Dad. Danks following up on Mom. K10 following up on Tribalize. And it looks like Projekt Proteus is putting their foot down for another stronghold. With a little over a minute off the clock, we'll be taking point A, moving on to point B here on Volskaya. What do you got, Widow?
I gotta compliment them on that. Usually, with any sort of goats, if your Brigida dies, your team dies. Your push is over. Brigida is the backbone of goats. But they were able to keep it going and keep it up. That Torb turret really just didn't even matter. They just made sure that it wasn't relevant. So Proteus, Void was pretty much playing with 1 DPS. They were doing a good job at handling them. But this is a different Proteus we're seeing, and they're doing a great job so far.
Right. Let's see if they can keep it going. If you remember, Helix Snake used to be part of Silver Division, just recently moved up, so I'm really interested to see how their group up on adding him in for this final season is going to be interesting as we see Sips T and Rift completely cleaning up right now. It looks like K10 going to get staggered as the diva right there, getting taken out by Mom, and it looks like that is going to be it for their push. Tribalize getting res. And then it is going to be 5 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock for the side of Projekt Proteus. What do you see going on in that push there, Widow?
They have nothing to handle the Pharaoh, so the Pharaoh is able to get a lot of poke damage and really get in there and do what she wants. And also, they're running no defensive ult, so that grab really just destroyed them. They had nothing to handle that, so they kind of got on there and they were like, oh, okay, here's a grab we cannot handle. So they need to be running a defensive ult, especially with the team comp that Void is running. They're running a lot of things that stun and CC and stuff like that. The hacks from Sombra are gigantic. That EMP, if they were running a defensive ult, that could have been negated. So they need to be running a hit scan, they need to be running a defensive ult. They're not running enough heals for their triple tank right now.
Alright, well, let's see if they go ahead. It doesn't look like they're going to be making any switches as of right now, because honestly, they have the ult economy to match. Will it be enough, though, to get in here? Let's see if they're... the bad part about having all those ults is that sometimes you get a little power hungry, and let's see if they can stagger these just right to allow them to take the point. Here comes the rally though. Cake Slapper, Diva Bomb going down on the point, ends up taking out Tribalize as Coalescence from Trickster takes out 60. Cake Slapper following up on Mom and Phoenix Sith, just going to town, imagining everybody as cake, I'd imagine, and just slapping them, slap, slap, slappy, slappy. And Rift coming back in, trying to distract as much as possible with the nano on them, but gets taken out by Trickster and Cake Slapper. We're going to see Sip C come back in. Here comes the barrage from Tribalize. Doesn't end up landing on anything as K10 ends up sucking it all up. Everybody gets tucked into the grab, but Mom only manages to take out Sniv. Here comes the Shatter, and allowing Trickster and K10 to follow up on Phoenix Sith, Dad, Mom, and Rift right there, taken out by Cake Slapper, and that is going to be a team kill, and allowing them to take second point right there on Volskaya Industries, under 4 minutes on the clock. Inform us on who that donation was. I did not get a chance to see that.
That's Dire Raven. And if you look at the bottom of this, or at the very right side of that donation bar, it'll tell you who the last donation was. It was Dire Raven. Thank you for that, Dire Raven.
Oh, thank you so much for that. I have a hard time seeing I try to make my screen small enough that I can watch the game and also watch that part of the screen. So it makes it really hard.
The ultimate multitasker.
It's like I gotta fit everything onto one screen. It's so difficult. All right.
So, to kind of analyze that last fight, Void. I'm so not used to these team names anymore. Project Proteus is doing an amazing job at getting really important picks and kind of keeping Void staggered. It took almost about 45 seconds to finally win that fight, but they were doing a great job. They didn't even need to use grab. I was really waiting for that grab to come out, but it never did, and they didn't need it. They were doing a phenomenal job, really big shatter to stop Dad from getting back in, again, staggering a healer. So they were doing a really good job of keeping Void coming in one at a time, so even when they got one pick on the side of Proteus, it didn't matter. They were still super duper staggers. They're doing a really good job. They took that in a great time.
Absolutely. They did an incredible job staggering everybody right there. They didn't come in and kind of just use all the ultimates willy-nilly. They really kind of focused on who their target was, needing to use an ultimate. The Coalescence was a big one because they were able to take C out of the picture very early on, and they were able to follow up on that. So let's see if Void has what it takes to either match or beat the time that Project Proteus has already set on the board. Tribalize starting things off, taking out Helix Snake, coming in this time on the Hanzo, and we're seeing Rith on the Ash this time around. So let's see if they can make it happen. Dynamite coming out from Ash doesn't end up landing on anything as Tribalize E10. So that's both DPS out of the fight right now as Helix Snake trying to get back in, but using the long haul to get there. Here comes the Coalescence out from Trickster, though, trying to keep the team up as a Nano Sip C coming into the fight as well. K10 switching over to the Soldier to try to get in a little bit faster, but Sip C takes out Danks. Phoenix Sith getting the res on Dad, who was taken out by Trickster. Tribalize follows up on Helix Snake. Sip C taking out Sniv, and the only one left near the point right now is K10, who is definitely looking to retreat. Ends up taking out Tribalize, but it's not going to be enough. Trickster trying to go in for the stagger, get a little bit extra time on the point, but gets taken out by Rip. At just about the same amount of time, they will take point A and start moving into point B. What do you got, Widow?
They didn't have anything to handle the Pharah, and Helix probably should have swapped to a hit scan instead of coming back as Hanzo. It's not like he had a lot of volt charge. But K10 swapped off the Junkrat, really smart move, and they're going to have a hit scan to handle the Pharah and hopefully keep her pinned down and be a little bit easier for Titan Void to hold. Project Proteus to hold!
You'll get it eventually, Widow.
One day, probably
All
not
right.
today.
Okay, well, the Valkyrie already coming out from Phoenix Sith to keep the team up as the Shatter coming down from Danks ends up taking out Mom, and Sip C following up on Cake Slapper. Helix Snake gets Tribalized, but Rith follows up on Trickster. It is back and forth right now, 4-4, but right now the spawn advantage is definitely on the side of Project Proteus as the anti-tackle goes in, but Sniv ends up surviving somehow. I don't even know how the heck that all happened right there. Sip C ends up taking out Danks, but Cake Slapper takes out Sip C. And right now we're going to see Trickster and Cake Slapper follow up on Phoenix Sith and Dad getting pushed. It ends up keeping the rest of the team out to regroup of the doors entering point 2. 5 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock. Tribalize switching over to the Reaper for this next push. Widow, how do you think that's going to help them out?
It's going to help them kind of break that front line. It's not really going to do much to help with their DPS, but it is going to help them like break their front line. And their front line is really strong right now, so it is really smart to do. But think about that. They swapped off the Pharah, and that's the whole point. You want to make someone switch. You want to make them switch. It's so important to do that.
Oh, Wombo
Nice!
combo! Gets a double kill and takes out Rith's Bob with the Coalescence taking out Mom right there. The Attack Visor came out to kind of shore things up, but they were ready to protect it. Rith going for the hard reset right there is Tribalize, looking to get back to the team and not get picked off by Helix Snake, who is still doing work on that Hanzo right now. And a sneaky Phoenix Sith.
Look at this Mercy!
Phoenix Sith just hanging out right there. It's going to be bad, though, if they figure out she's there. It's going to be bad. Oh, there she comes! Oh!
Project did use a lot of volts.
Sneaky. That was sneaky.
Yeah,
but as Lautrec says in chat, that was good. That was a good hold, but too many ults spent right there.
Absolutely.
Difficult to hold off the ult economy that's coming in right now for the side of Void. Phoenix is popping out the Valkyrie to start things off, as well as the Graviton and the Nano ends up allowing Rift, Mama, and Sips T to get kills on Dinks, Cake Slapper, and Snip. Sips T taking out Trickster as well. Tribalize following up on Helix Snake, and K10 getting taken out by Mom. That's going to be a team kill. First tick. Second tick, possibly third tick as well. Here comes the rally, but the shatter coming out from C stops the incoming Cake Slapper despite the rally. And Rith ends up taking out Sniv as well and shoring up control of point 2, making it 2-2 right now. Projekt Proteus holding only a, what is that? Let me math quick. 22-second lead. 2 seconds extra.
2 seconds.
That is quite tight. That is quite tight. I think this is gonna go on the second set of pushes. Usually they're able to get this first one pretty easily on the attack. It's the second one that kind of longer for each team. So
Yeah,
what do you think we're gonna see from them?
Both teams did a really good job. I do want to see Projekt Proteus run a defensive ult here. They have been sort of refusing to do so, and Trickster, although Coalescence can be defensive in the grabs, when you're going to get antied by a Moira, you're kind of screwed. Moira's useless. They should be running an Ana, or at least a Lucio, into this, and they don't seem to want to, so it's a little concerning as to whether or not they're going to be able to actually hold, and, you know, because all it takes is one grab, and an anti into it, you're destroyed. There's nothing left, you know? So Projekt needs to really pay attention to what Void is playing. So we'll see if they're going to be able to hold it regardless. Hopefully they can.
Well, actually, it looks like Projekt actually ended up switching over. Cake Slapper coming in on the Zenyatta, so they must have been listening closely to you from the from the ether. It was just like Widow's saying, switch to a defensive ult. Okay.
Widow's been saying for like 3 days.
Phoenix and Tribalize coming in on the Pharah Mercy once again, though, trying to take out Helix Snake there in the back line. Sniv ends up getting anti, but not taken out as K10 on the Soldiers still ends up taking out Phoenix Sith. Rift taking out Helix Snake, though. Going to be quickly countered. 5-5 now on the point. And here comes Pharah in. Tribalize trying to get some hits, but Danks ends up taking out Sips T. And right now, the only one left is Tribalize near the point, but gets taken out by K10. 2 minutes 30 seconds on the clock now, hopefully allowing Helix Snake enough time to be able to get back into the point as they push back the side of Void.
We do have a sneaky Ash hiding in the back. Look at her crouch walking back there.
What is with all these sneaky characters?
They're doing a really good job, though. Projekt is doing an amazing job.
Alright, here comes the Coalescence, but the Dynamite going into the back line. Danks ends up taking out Phoenix Sith with the Fire Strike to start things off, though, so doesn't look like that's going to do too much. Trickster getting back in there to heal the rest of the team after the Coalescence is finished up. And Rift still the sneaky. Looks like they're going to be matching up against... Who is that out
Helix.
there? Helix Snake.
Oh, the hard reset.
Oh, the hard reset. I think what happened, and this is something that's been really weird playing Ash. She booped herself trying to boot back Helix.
100%.
You gotta forget, you can push them back, but you push yourself back as well, and I have fallen off way too many maps that way. Alright, here comes the Graviton, but the Transcendence coming out from Cake Slapper, gonna prevent them from getting anybody else but Sniv. Trickster ends up taking out Tribalize right there. Here comes the Bob from Rift. The Shatter stops Bob dead in its tracks. Ends up. What? Bob gets hard
so
reset.
Bob doesn't stop running until he hits something, and he ran off the map.
And he didn't hit anything. He just ran straight off the point. Oh man, that's rough. That is so rough right there. 45 seconds rather on the clock. As Projekt Proteus holding an incredibly strong defense here right now. Widow, do you think they need to switch anything up to try to take this point from Projekt Proteus?
Honestly, I think Rich should get onto her. Ooh. Let's see what happens here, but...
All right, well, the tire comes out from Tribalize, ends up taking out Danks, but the Helix Blade ends up catching Dad there in the Graviton. Also ends up getting Slip C with the dash. Cake Slapper following up on Tribalize. The Trickster takes out Rift with the Death Ball. And the only one near the point right now is Mom, but gets taken out by Cake Slapper as well. And that looks like it is going to be it. Only 3 seconds left as Phoenix uses the Transcendence to get in and contest the point. But without having that Transcendence for their team, along with the heals, going to be really difficult. Rift coming in with the Sombra, but gets taken out by the Tac Visor going into the point, as well as Tribalize. Cake Slapper also takes out Sip C. Overtime's going to tick away, and that is going to be round 3. Void not getting a single tick here. Only, do you think it was only the switch to the Zenyatta?
I think Proteus was kind of reading Void. Proteus was playing anti-Void. Do you understand what I mean? They were running the
no, I don't.
Soldier against the Pharah.
A lot of things.
Right, they had Tribal on that Pharah last time. Tribal was an issue, right? So then they swapped to K10 on the hit scan on the Soldier, immediately making him swap off Pharah. He's a very strong Pharah, but then you would have to swap to a different DPS that maybe you don't feel like you could do as much as. And then they were playing that Zenyatta to stop the grab combo. That Zenyatta came in so clutch. So clutch. It denied any big ults from Void, and that's what Void's famous for. Big, huge game-stopping ults. Whether it's Lucifer hiding behind or anything. But yeah, no, Proteus did an amazing job there. I would have liked to see Rith swap onto her Sombra a little earlier. Or in that game at all. I think Rith has a really effective Sombra. She gets really smart, good hacks when she needs to get them. The Ashe wasn't really getting enough use there, but we'll see if they're able to hold it just as well. I'm really impressed with the way Proteus is playing now. It's like a different team from last game.
All right, well, let's see if they can make it happen. Looks like they're coming in on the GOATS, the greatest of all time, coming in to do damage. Push it in with Helix Snake on the Lucio. Danks ends up taking out Sipsy, and Rift just rolling right in. Danks getting the pin on Phoenix. Danks is an unstoppable force right now, taking out Mom, and the reset goes on Dad. The only one left on the point is going to be Tribalize, ends up getting taken out by the Bash Cake Slapper, and that's it.
Great job. Great job.
Yeah, there's nothing else to be said about that.
Yeah, I can't really analyze that. It was just a good goats push.
That's literally what it came down to.
Yeah.
When you're on the goats, it's all about aggression, and that's exactly what it came down to. Sip T coming in with play of the game, boosted by the Ana, ends up getting the pin, taking out Danks right there, and just kind of touching everybody else to clear the point, so they were able to take it right there. Just incredibly powerful. 6 projected barriers, slapping up 4,000 damage.
Blocked. Yeah.
That is a lot of barriers right there.
Yeah, that's really good. Zarya's bubbles absorb 200 damage each, so for her to have that kind of damage block with them means she was really using her bubbles effectively. So that's really good.
Absolutely. All right, folks, we are going into halftime right now. Projekt Proteus versus Void, 1-1 going into the half. Go ahead and blow up the chat with who you all are rooting for tonight. Widow, you got anything else to say before we go into our halftime break?
No. Everyone's playing well. I'm really impressed with the way these teams are going right now. That's all.
A little bit more. I know you're working on part 2.
Part 2? What?
Yeah, it's a blank page, and then at the end it says buy book 3.
Oh, you're right, my autobiography. You're correct.
Autobiography, yeah. I know.
This one's dedicated to Loudtrex, who is constantly bullying me, so I told my mom on him.
I don't know how you dedicate an autobiography to someone. That's because usually the autobiography
is
about
me and how Loudtrex bullies me.
Oh,
dedicated to him.
Wow. Loudtrex, I'm sorry, buddy, but it looks like you're going to be the feature in book 2 of Widow's autobiography. Come by book 3.
I
in
villainized
stores
you.
now.
Hey, real quick before we
There's
go
just a
on break.
picture of you with like little like emoji devil horns
We
and like
must have missed
bangs.
it or something, but it says Darius just donated 20, so thank you, Darius. We must have missed that. Thank you for that.
Yeah, apologies for that. Unfortunately, it does. I wish there was a way we could get it to pop up in chat because I can never see when it pops up on the screen from watching that. But again, thank you, Darius, for your donation. Once again, all these proceeds go to the California Fire Foundation to support families that whose homes were wrecked by the California wildfires, as well as the families of firefighters who sacrificed their lives to save other families during that time. So once again, go ahead and put in your support at the $300 mark. We will be handing out a $10 Steam card at our All-Star Scrim this Saturday, December 22nd at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But for right now, we've got a lot more Overwatch for you right after the break. Stay tuned for more Overwatch Cavalry Club Scrims.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That was our elongated halftime video from Elfie. Thank you, Elfie, for that video. And thank you, everybody, for submitting the highlights that you did. Right now, we are back with Void and Proteus. They are 1-1, and I'll return you right back to our commentators, Captain Jack and Le Widow.
Hello. Hola.
Thank you so much there, peeps.
My friends are Spanish.
Star-Lord's name, go pee-pee.
You're a little of both, you know.
Oh God,
Multicultural
that's
here.
I will never get over the fact that that's their abbreviation. Oh man. I'm so immature. Hey, my name's Captain Jack. Welcome back from our halftime. Widow, how was your break?
It was super duper good. I fixed some settings in the game. I did the most. I actually did the most. You just don't know it.
That's good to know. I was trying to enjoy the rest of my sandwich, but the time clicked out. So, oh well. Gonna have to do it a little bit later as we go ahead and start off our next match here on Route 66. And dang it, I didn't grab my phone so I could play Route 66 while it was loading in.
Wait! If you ever plan to motor west, travel my way, take the highway, that's the best. Get your kicks
Kicks
on
on Route
66.
66. Yeah! There we go. See, I don't know all the words just yet.
Oh, I know all. Please, I'll sing the whole song. The last chorus. It's our song.
I would totally be okay with that, but something tells me that they're more focused on the Overwatch than they are our singing. So go ahead and look and see how our teams are setting up. Oh, looks like they're calling for a pause there.
Yep.
What's going on?
They didn't tell me a swap in time.
They had
he
8
just-
minutes.
I know. He didn't tell me
What the heck?
Trickster.
Sorry, folks. Thank you, Loudtrex and Star-Lord. Press F for my sandwich.
Can we
that I
get
haven't
an
gotten
F
to
in the
finish.
chat for the teams not telling us about swaps at 8-minute time?
Goodness gracious. Let's try this
We
again.
go
Take two, Route 66.
all right, now ready. Widow, hit it.
Winnable. If you ever plan to motor west, travel my
Oh my goodness, this is so great. All right, let's go ahead and see how our teams are coming in here on Route 66. As you know, before the half, they're tied 1-1 in the series right now between Void and Projekt Proteus. Let's go and see how they're setting up. It looks like on the side of Pro, Ma Dan coming in on the Reaper, along with Helix Snake taking on the Widowmaker.
Widow.
Cake Slapper get off the Briggs, so no Cake Slapping this time around. Gonna end up taking on the Moira with K10 coming in now as the Zenyatta. So taking a healer role this time around. Very interesting.
His name is actually K. Jonak.
His name is actually K. Jonak.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's like the third DPS basically.
Essentially, yeah. Wait for a K-Town play the game. Wait for it.
All right, let's see it happen. And Danks and Sniv coming in on the Rhine Zarya combo once again. Dad and O.C.C coming in on the Rhine Diva, which continues to be interesting to me. You don't see the Rhine Diva very much in compositions, I feel. Usually it's the Rhine Zarya or the Diva Winston, so the fact that they're running that is always interesting. And Abstract coming in on the Genji and Ashe, and Phoenix Sith on Grandmother coming in on the Zenyatta. I really want to know if they're making a family on Team Void.
I feel like they are.
They got mom, they got dad, and they've got grandma now. They're just like mimicking like what Loudtrex says at the end. Tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your grandma, grandpa, and that's like how they're gonna add people to the team. But getting away from all that nonsense, Abstract ends up getting the first kill there on Helix Snake as Sniv ends up taking out Dad as well as Lucifer. So it is 4v5 right now. Sniv ends up demeching and with the help of Danks, taking out O.C.C as well. And to first point right there, the only ones around look to be Phoenix Sith, who is being a very sneaky Moira around the rock, and Abstract getting taken out in the back line by Cake Slapper. And that looks like it's going to be a very short up .1 with see, I almost thought Helix Snake came back in as Ash. Looking at that skin, Helix Snake ends up picking off Phoenix Sith to start things off. Danks getting the tackle in on Dad as Sniv takes out T. Here comes the blade from Lucifer, but gets smacked down by Dan. Boy, this is really rough on the side of Void. What do you think is shutting them down so hard right now?
So one of the big issues they had there was Phoenix Sith going in there and be like, oh, let me coalesce for no apparent reason right here, right now. You know, it was just not really a smart play. Coalescence is a healing ult. It's not really meant to be a damage ult. It doesn't do as much damage as it does healing. So they really wanted to do that instead of, you know, but they wasted a lot of ults there and they got no use out of it. You know, Projekt is doing a good job of like playing together and doing what they're supposed to and staying close, and they're not really giving them any space that way.
Alright, well let's see if they can shore things up. Lucifer switching over to the Hanzo as the Mawdan going in the back line ends up taking out Abstract, who switched over to the Widowmaker as well. Retreats back to the safety of the team as it's a 5v6 fight. Going in here to point 2. Here comes the Graviton. So the Transcendence coming out from K10. Gonna save everybody's butt right there. Cake Slapper coming out with the Coalescence, trying to shore up some kills. But Dad going in for the pin doesn't end up managing to hit anything. Gets taken out by Mawdan. And Helix Snake following up on Phoenix Sith, as well as Grandmother, and Mawdan getting the final kill on 6T. Gonna short up .2 for the side of Projekt Proteus. Moving into .3 with just under 5 minutes on the clock. Widow, this team is incredibly aggressive, taking on anything that comes their way. Do you think that the switches that they're making is gonna be good?
Absolutely. I
think to hold this defense?
Yes and no. I think Orissa's kind of one of those tanks that are really susceptible to someone like a Reaper. There's nothing she can really do to stop a Reaper besides press, you know, shift and back up. But even then, not really too much. But the changes
that was an interesting really Dragon Strike right there. Ends up taking out K10. Lucifer gets the Sonic Arrow on Cake Slapper and takes out Danks. His Grandmother follows up on Sniv right there. And that is going to be a strong hold.
Yeah, they did a good job. That kind of flank dragon was really huge. It did a lot to kind of break Projekt up and really make them start playing a little frazzled, a little scattered. And that's exactly what they needed to do to kind of break up the strong, coordinated pushes that they're making.
Finding the chat incredibly interesting. Bacon saying the old 1v6 Dragon Blade. And Star-Lord saying, I like those odds. But Loutrex coming in and saying, they call that a Bacon Blade. Delicious, but so terrible for you. So sorry, Bacon.
Loutrex, go home. I'm tired of these bad jokes.
Here comes the touchdown Chatter. Bad Chatter coming in from Danks right there. Except in the back line, Mawdan taking out Abstract as Danks follows up on 6T after the DMAC from Cake Slapper. And they are pushing into .3, very aggressive, very quick, as Coalescence comes out from Grandmother, ends up getting taken out by Danks right there. K10 following up on Phoenix Sith. Lucifer gets the Storm Arrow rather onto Mawdan, but that's going to be just about it as they get taken out as well. Right now, Abstract switching over to the Hamtaro, ends up getting taken out by K10, and the Nano coming out onto Diva right before she got DMAXed, because that's pretty bad. That's an oof right there on the Nano. Mawdan coming in with the Death Blossom, doesn't end up landing on much of anything, but K10 and Danks just cleaning up around the payload right now. The only one left is Abstract on the Tracer, and it looks like they are going to push in now to .3. Now by the Mawdan.
I gotta do this. I'm sorry. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm definitely clapping.
What was the clap for, though?
Because they were playing so well. Projekt was being so smart about who they picked, when they picked them, they were doing, like, they were working like a well-oiled machine. They really genuinely were. So I have to give that to them, because the team we saw first game is not this team. They're doing an amazing job. They genuinely and truly are. And I really have to compliment them on that.
Okay,
Void's
well,
not
you know,
playing poorly. They're just... Proteus is
getting
really
outplayed.
giving them their money. Yeah, that's really what it is today. They're just playing smarter. Void is an extremely talented team. We've seen this. They were the reigning champs of the Gold Division for months and months and months. They're a very strong team, but Projekt is just doing an amazing job. They really are. I really got to compliment them.
Well, I have to comment on your comment. I'm really glad that Pro is a well-oiled machine, because if K10 didn't have that on that Zenyatta, I think he wouldn't be doing nearly as well.
No, I agree. Everyone on the team was doing great. Sniv pretty much almost solo. Like,
oh no, I don't think you got me there, Widow, because
He's,
K10
I hate you so
is a
much.
You missed it. You missed the dad joke that was in the depths there.
I need the admin
Gotta
to
dig that one
fire
out.
him. Please just fire him. Please kick him out.
Can't fire me. Who would you have do all this awesome commentary and dad jokes? Who would you have do that?
I don't
Honestly,
know. We'll get a bot or something who can't make that joke.
get a bot to
Oh
make
my
dad jokes. Won't be nearly as good as mine. But now back to the action as we see Pro holding the high ground there on the big Earls, getting completely stormed to death by a Lucifer on the Pharah. And we're going to see Void pushing in the payload, going right in front of Big Earls, and it looks like Projekt Proteus jumping down right at the exact time. Helix looking to get some kills there in the back line, trying to take out Grandmother on the Moira right now as Abstract gets the... There on K10, Lucifer taking out Maudan's turret and getting Cake Slapper with the barrage, as well as taking out Sniff. The res comes in for Dad, who had gotten taken out by Danks, but Danks ends up falling to O.C.C. Abstract taking out Helix Snake with the Venom Mine again. A second person with the Venom Mine already.
He's going for achievements tonight.
Honestly, that was the easy one. I still have not gotten that hook scope in the air. I'm
gonna be honest, I got it accidentally on 3 different accounts, and then I finally got it on purpose on the 4th.
Well, at least you practiced the first 3 times, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Sure, that's it. Alright, Abstract still on that Widow, trying to get picks in the backline, ends up taking out Maudan on the Soldier 76 now. It is a 4v6 fight here on the payload. Abstract looking to try to get K10 or Cake Slapper there behind Danks and Sniv, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Lucifer boosted right there by Phoenix as O.C.C sends the Diva Bomb over the building, ends up taking out K10 as Lucifer follows up on Sniv and Cake Slapper. We're going to see Helix Snake coming out as the Ash now. Ends up getting taken out by O.C.C as soon as they exit spawn for the most part. And it looks like here they might jump down at the last minute, or they
if they hard that Diva, they might be able to, but they're really gonna have to hard focus there and watch out for Lucifer's ult.
Up here comes the barrage. Lucifer getting the double kill on Danks and Maudan as they're coming in. O.C.C ends up taking out Sniv as Lucifer takes out Helix Snake. Team kill as they end up hitting 0.3 on the attack now. 5 minutes 15 seconds on the clock. Honestly, they're making very equal time compared to how Projekt Proteus did.
Agreed.
It needs to do to hold this defense.
They're gonna want to really contest this Pharah, and Cake Slapper's gonna want to not 1v1. But yeah, they're gonna want to really contest this Pharah and then handle this Widow. So like a Sombra would really help. Would be able to both hack the Pharah and kind of sneak up on the Widow and distract her a lot. Oh, that's a big shatter, but that's a really big
bad shatter, but gets counter shattered right there by Danks. Phoenix and Grandmother take out K10 and Helix Snake, but Sniv ends up taking out Dad with the help of Danks right there. Coalescence ends up popping out from Cake Slapper to try to keep everybody up. But O.C.C ends up falling Danks as Maudan taking out Phoenix Sith. Abstract ends up getting Cake Slapper as the Graviton going in on the point allows Maudan to use Attack Visor to take out Grandma. Helix Snake coming in now on the McCree, takes out Abstract as Sipsy follows up on Maudan. K10 getting the D-Mech and kill onto Lucifer as Danks coming in now on the Orisa, takes out both Dad and Sipsy, shoring up control of the payload with just a little under 4 minutes on the clock. Do you think the switch over to the Orisa was a good plan?
Yes and no. I think it forced Farah to switch, which is great. I mean, there's 2 hit scans on the side of Project Proteus, and Orisa having her own gun, it makes running a Farah extremely difficult. But it is gonna help a lot, and I think it is a lot smarter to run this. I think they're gonna see a big hold, but something like this is scary.
Oh, yes it is. Diva Bomb from Sipsy ends up taking out Helix Snake and K10. Dad ends up taking out Cake Slappers. Lucifer gets a dash kill on Danks. Sniv coming in as the Hog ends up getting taken out by Sipsy, and Maudan falls to the Fire Strike from Dad. Team kill once again as the Hamkara from Danks comes in. Shatter comes in from Dad, ends up taking out Helix Snake coming in on the Reaper, as well as Danks. Abstract taking out Cake Slapper on the Hanzo, and Phoenix Sith kill in on K10. About a minute, 4-second difference. Now for the side of Void to the second set of attacks and defenses. Widow. I think these teams are essentially neck and neck at this point.
They are. I think Proteus had a little bit of a struggle to deal with the Farah. They weren't really running the proper counters to the Farah, or effective counters to the Farah. Like, for instance, we had Sheeps on Titans, and Void completely stopped running a Farah against Sheeps because she was just amazing at taking out Farahs. So they're kind of picking to see if they can play a Farah into Proteus, and Proteus wasn't really able to handle the Farah except K10. I think K10 was the only person who really killed that Farah. So they were having a lot of issues with that, and because the Farah was just having so much space with Sipsy being an aggressive and... or no, Dab was on Rhyme there, but making a lot of space for that Farah to play with, and the Farah just had free reign. So I think if Proteus plays a little more defensively with the sort of comps that Void has been playing, I think they'll be fine. But Void did an amazing job. They were playing to their strengths and playing to Proteus' weaknesses, and it really worked out for them.
Alright, well, let's see if they can keep things going. Looking into the stats, it looks like right now Void has a 100% success rate. Project Proteus, this is their first time playing on Route 66 as of December 1st. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they go up against essentially champs of the map right here, with having a minute less time on the clock. Maudan coming in as the Farah ends up taking out Abstract on the Genji, pushing in, trying to get trying to get Dad right there is Danks. Gonna follow up on that kill with the Discord. K10 ends up taking out Lucifer as well. Is a 3v6 fight on the point. Make that Sipsy ends up getting Helix Snake, but gets taken out by Sniv as well as Grandmother. K10 falling Phoenix Sith on the Mercy. And that looks like it's gonna be a solid first point with about a minute on the clock. Widow, they're once again doing a phenomenal job on this push. What do you think is gonna be?
They were really smart about being where they needed to be. You know, Helix got right into the back line and was on those healers, doing exactly what Genji's supposed to do. Maudan was doing a really smart job of getting one of their main DPS out of playing, you know, really aggressively, but not too aggressively, like that happy medium area. But, you know, he may want to swap off with Lucifer's, oh my god, who is that? McCree! But we'll see.
Alright, well, let's see if they can make it happen. Abstract ends up taking out Helix Snake with the dash right there as the...
Ooh.
What? High Noon ends up taking out K10 and Sniv, but a pause. Da-na-da-na. Ba-da-da! Oh. Womp womp womp. On the side of Void, who did we lose? Let's see. Sip,
we
Dad,
lost
Booster.
Grandmother.
Grandma, not Nana.
Not Nana.
Oh, press F to pay respects for the lost Nano and Grandma. Not rigged, Hell's Virtue. It's not rigged. One of the successful nights we're having. The fact that we've gotten this far without an EC is actually surprising.
Yeah, it was a battle of the DCs in the time in the game.
Oh my goodness. Oh, if you tuned into Monday's game, goodness, the first match was like who's gonna DC the most, vice who's gonna win.
Exactly.
It was like DC on this side. Oh, there's DC on the other side. Oh, there's two more on this side. Oh, there's two more on the other side. Oh, we have one come back. Oh, they DC'd again. Oh my goodness. Like back and forth for like 3-4 minutes. I'm like, oh my god. Goodness gracious. All right. Well, once again, folks, we are not the Overwatch League, so we thank you so much for sticking with us as we try to get Grandmother back into the fight. Oh, no! Lost power? Who turned off Grandma's power? Lexus Company, you should be ashamed of yourself. Turning off Grandma's power like that. She's just a widow waiting.
You need a nap.
Is that like a 21st
I'm
century
tired?
version
I'm not
of Grandma
tired.
got run over by a
All the
reindeer? Like
Grandma got her
cut
power
off
shut off.
Grandma got
power
cut
got
off from
for
Blizzard
crying.
servers.
Oh my goodness.
Grandma got cut off from Blizzard servers.
Trying to play a game of Overwatch.
Oh jeez. God
You
help
can
Are we really
say it
doing
was
this?
on Jeff's fault, but
Yeah, blame Kaplan. Always blame Kaplan.
Jeff
Jeff,
Kaplan
why?
posted a funny
Why Papa
video
Jeff?
or a funny picture that he went to Starbucks and they wrote his name is Jeph instead of Jeff. And so it became such a meme. They were like, "You
Jeff's
mess
name.
with Jeff, you get deaf."
Wow.
What?
I hate the internet.
That doesn't
That's-
even make any sense.
Yeah, they
bro.
spelled it Deph. You mess with Jeff, like Jeff. I don't know. It was
you
funny.
get depth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, I laughed.
Is,
I'm also
but
13 deep down.
Alfie's saying, "Put me in, coach."
Elfie just wants to get put in. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, Grandma wrestled with Jeff, and well, you know the rest. Coming from Bacon. Well, while we got a pause going on, let's go ahead, take a look below our stream, if we will. I'll let you know about a little bit of info that we've got. Well, really a lot of info if you really look at it all. So if this is your first time joining us, welcome. We're the Overwatch Cavalry Club Scrims. We have been running this...
Back in.
quick. It looks like. All right. That's okay.
Okay.
All right.
Later. We win these later.
Talk more later. Just check out below the chat when you all got a second. Definitely a lot of good stuff down there. Gonna get back into the action. Grandma coming in now as the Moira. Lucifer still got that double kill right there. Ma Dan coming in with the barrage. Only took out Dad. That must be amazing holding that barrage for so long in the pause menu. Just as rains. But it looks like it's going to be a strong hold. Oh! What the heck just happened right there? K10 coming in with the Transcendence, allowing Helix Snake to come in with the Blade. Ma Dan getting the double kill there on Phoenix Sith and Lucifer. Abstract does take out Ma Dan, but it's not going to be enough as Sip C and hold on. Here comes the Blade out from Abstract though, trying to take out Cake Slapper rather. Ends up taking out K10 as well. Helix Snake getting the dash onto Abstract at the end of that Blade, and overtime is ticking away right now from the side of Project Proteus. The Ma Dan coming in, shooting rockets. The payload trying to get some damage in on the coalescing Grandma right there. That was one quick coalescence, let me tell you. As the rest of Void gets back in to defend the point right there. Payload still moving forward. Project Proteus doesn't have a single chance to get off of here. Here comes the high noon from Lucifer in the back line. Ends up taking out Ma Dan. Abstract switching over to the Tracer. Ends up taking out K10 on the Lucio as Phoenix Sith gets the resin on Dad to try to keep things going here. Sniv ends up getting the kill on Lucifer. And the Coalescence coming out from Cake Slapper, but the Diva Bomb ends up taking out both Cake Slapper and Sniv. Danks and Helix Snake, the only ones left on the point as Phoenix Sith takes out Danks, and Helix Snake falls to Sips T right there. Strong .2 hold for the side of Void. Question being, will Void be able to push that far, or will they get shut down by the Pro?
We'll see.
Whoop. Pro coming to shut you down. Whoop, whoop. That peeps? Was that with your unmuted mic? Somebody talking in the background? Oh, apparently only we can hear him, so now it just sounds like I'm talking to myself. Oh no, it finally got to me.
No, now I'm on stream. It's fun when I do that. Yeah, I can mute myself on stream, but you can still hear me.
Yes, I am quite aware. Just figured that you didn't have it that way right now. Goodness. All right, looking into the chat right there. And thus ending the slapping of kicks. Like, I just think of that, what cartoon was that? Was it Jimmy Neutron? With the little kid that's like, slap, 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 clap, 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 slap, slap, clap. Was that Jimmy Neutron? I could never remember. Alright, well, let's get out of our cartoon nostalgia and back once again to this game of Overwatch. Widow, what did you see going on in that last push, despite the DC, that might help Void get through here?
I think that pause kind of threw them for a loop, which can happen. You kind of get a pause and you're not really sure what to do from there. But they came back in really strong. They pushed a little bit further, so I gotta give them that. It's like, okay, Abstract.
Whoa, Abstract with the triple kill. As the Widowmaker grandmother cleaning up Sniv as well. Helix Snake on the Hanzo this time around, looking to try to get Abstract around the be good enough as Sips T ends up falling Danks. Oh, apparently Dad says that Projekt is shaming themselves. That's not good. Not good to shame yourself. Oh, it always reminds me of Monty Python. Lucifer coming in with the double kill on Maudan and Danks as Dad gets the tackle onto Cake Slapper as they claim point 1 minute 50 seconds on the clock as they push in to the final objective point, probably about 30 meters shy. Lucifer essentially going completely uncontested right now, ends up taking out Helix Snake with Abstract taking out Sniv right there. Payload pushing incredibly quick. And the team move back in. Barrage coming in from Lucifer, ends up being a snowstorm, taking out Maudan, Danks, and Cake Slapper. Grandmother ends up getting K10 as well. Payload moving in, and honestly, I have no idea how to feel about this, Widow.
It's concerning, to say the least. I don't really know how they're going to be able to push through. The Diva's going to help out a lot here, kind of be able to dance around, but
it ends up getting D-Max rather quick by Dad. As they touch points, the Shatter comes down. Not a lot of follow-up. Diva Bomb, triple kill. Beauty Bomb coming in from the Sips T. Gonna clean up the point with 50 seconds on the clock. Reds comes in for Abstract as they end up getting taken out, I believe, by Maudan on the far. Dad ends up getting Danks coming in on the Monkey, Winston. And Void will end up taking game 3 here on the Overwatch Cavalry Club Scrims. Everybody except for Phoenix Sith raising a toast, but Danks walking away with play of the game here on Route 66. Touchdown here on to Phoenix Sith, as well as helping eliminate Dad and Abstract. Aggressive they were on the attack and holding a relatively well defense. What thing completely fell apart on this last defense? Like it's like they didn't have a penny to their name to even throw at the payload, let alone defense. Why do you think that is?
You can't handle one of the DPS on the enemy team. You run hard counters to that player. They were running one hit scan and a Hanzo against a Widow and a Pharah. They needed to be running a counter Widow and potentially the McCree was fine, but McCree wasn't able to counter Pharah as much because he wasn't able to kind of get protected. Danks is a really aggressive tank, so when you have a really aggressive Rhine and suddenly you have no more shield to kill a Pharah, you die. And also holding the top of big girls when there's a Pharah incoming. Oh my god, please. Don't do that. Don't do that. Make her get in your face. Make her get in your face. They ran the Pharah. They didn't kind of anticipate that Pharah. They should have anticipated the Pharah because they
Did
ran
that
it
on the
first
first
time.
one.
Yeah.
Yep.
So instead they ran high ground, where Pharah could just kind of get in and pick to her heart's content because she has a nice big cliff to keep hiding behind. Whereas if you play the corner, she now has to break that cliff to get any sort of damage on you. So that's one of the smarter things to happen there. Let me check this
All right. Well, Void walking away from the third match 2-1 now in the series. Project Proteus still having the chance to tie things up as we enter map 4, possibly map 5, into Busan. As we go ahead and make our switches and get prepared for hopefully not our final map. Want to go back to let you know about our Heroes Never Die charity that we're money for the California Fire Foundation. Our goal is $500, currently sitting at $285. As I said before, we have prizes at each level. So far, we are giving away 10 loot boxes. Right now, at the $200 level, $300 will give away a $10 Steam card. $400 is a mystery prize. And $500 will be our grand prize, which is a Nintendo Switch. So go ahead and support the California Fire Foundation. All the money that we generate, once again, goes straight to them. And the money that's going to the prizes has essentially been donated by all of you, by subscribing, by cheering, by constantly supporting this community. It's just, y'all are amazing, and this is the time of year where we're supposed to give back, and so that's exactly what we're doing for our community. But if you want to give to the California Fire Foundation, go ahead and hit the button below that says OCCS Cares-Donate. Once again, if you're interested in applying to be a player, Silver through Diamond Division, you can hit that player application button right there. Coach application right next to it for Masters, Grandmasters. If you're interested in being someone like myself who comes on here because people needed him to talk in really weird dad jokes and commentate and stuff, or be like Widow, who is currently writing her third autobiography on who knows what.
The bullying. No, actually, okay, my third one, it's gonna be on my journey to Void and being the only female player on that team.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's going to be quite an interesting one.
Girl,
I'm ready to read the 3 words at the end of the 50 blank pages for your next book. Definitely going to be a bestseller, I believe.
I'm gonna say actually a grill gamer, and that's the title of my book. Girl gamer.
Well, if you want to be a commentator, nevertheless, if you want to be a commentator, nevertheless, go ahead and contact me at. You can either get me on Discord at CaptainJack87, or you can shoot me an email on Gmail. It's a little funky because I got it set to my gamer tag. It's C4J4CK87. So it's like Captain Jack, but the A's are 4s. At gmail.com. Go ahead. They took my name on Xbox, hooray. I can't help that. I wanted to be Captain Jack. Somebody was already Captain Jack. And I was like, well, pooh.
Watch your mouth. There are children.
I'll print and put in numbers for letters. But let's go ahead and get into the action now as we are on Busan Mecha Base to start things off. Zip C getting the first pick there on Cake Slapper, running, it looks like a dive comp. into the basic 2-2-2 coming out from the side. Helix Snake looking to tie things up, takes out Tribalize. His dad ends up getting danked. And it looks like Ed and the rest of Void jump into the point and take control as Projekt Proteus looks to regroup with their main tank Danks before pushing in. What do you think about the aggression coming from their dive comp on the side of Void there?
I mean, it was really smart to kind of jump in there and kind of force them to hit them head first. I mean, Helix was doing a great job getting really good picks there, and it was really smart for them to kind of back up and begin to regroup. But there was a lot of ult charge, obviously, on the side of Void that came in here. So I got to give them that.
Wow, that was an incredibly powerful move there by Lucifer. I heard the and I thought that Lucifer died through that, but it looks like that was another character on the side of Projekt Proteus. Ended up getting...
he got flashbang.
Oh, did he get flashbanged? Was that it?
Mm-hmm. Which was really
good.
Oh,
I was like, oh, that's too bad. Blade gone. But then he just kept dashing, and I was like, wait. Wait a second. Alright, 55% now on the point, in control of Void right now. Here comes the Coalescence out from both Phoenix Sith as well as Cake Slapper. Sniv getting the kill on Dad to start things off, though, as they push into the point. Looks like that's exactly what they needed, 70% and climbing. But Rip coming in with P, allowing Sips to get the Beauty Bomb triple kill on Sniv, Cake Slapper, and Ma Dan. And it looks like they're going to clean up right now. Projekt Proteus, 82% and climbing. K10 trying to get in there and heal, but ends up getting taken out by a running Yermuk 6T. Rift getting the double kill there on Danks and Helix Snake. 93% and climbing for the side of Void. Will Projekt Proteus be able to get in enough time? 2-1. They're able to touch point. Overtime's going to tick away as the blade comes out for Lucifer. Double dash. Ends up taking out Cake Slapper and Ma Dan. The B-drop comes in, allowing Rift to see Bad Shatter, but not able to follow up as Rift takes out Danks. Dad ends up taking out Helix Snake, and overtime will tick away, giving control of this map. Void 100-0. Oh, that was just... I'm really surprised. We usually see some switches come out for the side of Projekt, but it just doesn't seem like the switches that they were making were really... What do you think that they should be expecting this time around on... I believe this one's called Temple or Sanctuary? Something like that? Big belly drum in the middle. Big belly drum map, that's what I call it.
Yeah, so this Symmetra, this Sombra Diva combo is something that we do on our group. And it's something very hard to contest because you kind of really just have to pray you can anticipate it. So reading the Diva and really kind of tracking that ult is what they're going to need to do. Or running Ghost into it might help as well.
Alright, well it looks like we're going to see Projekt Proteus come in and start taking control of the point. Sipsy takes out the teleporter, but not until they're already on the point right there. Danks getting the pin on Dad and ends up allowing Sniv to clean that up, making it a 5v6 fight. Helix Snake ends up retreating, try to get away from the dashing Lucifer. Phoenix Sith ends up getting Ma Dan in the backline as Helix Snake, D-Mex, Sips T, Cake Slapper ends up getting Phoenix Sith. Helix Snake taking out Sips T as the mini diva, and we're going to see Projekt Proteus take control of this point, 6% and climbing here on Busan Sanctuary. What did you see going on there, Widow?
They got really aggressive. They got in there. Symmetra was able to throw some turrets up and really kind of make it hard for them to move anywhere except one area. So once they were there, they were just able to kind of funnel them and cycle them through and just take them out one by one. So it was really good. They're using the characters they're playing really well.
Alright, well let's see if they can keep it up. Here comes the dash in from Lucifer, looking to get that easy kill. The anti-nade going in on Danks, but ends up getting booped, but not hit. Lucifer coming out with the blade, trying to hit somebody as Ma Dan takes out Dad, but Rift takes out Helix Snake. Sipsy following up on Danks right there. Sniv and Cake Slapper, the only ones on the point. Correction, Sniv ends up falling to Rift as well as Cake Slapper. control of the point will be gained by the side of Void. 45% on the side of Project Proteus to 6 and climbing. Move into that point so ferociously.
They kind of got in there, they hacked who they needed to, they picked who they needed to, and they just were kind of able to pull it from there.
Alright, well, let's see if they can keep it going. Here comes the barrier coming out from the Helix Snake to try to get in and contest the point. Unfortunately, the barrier gets EMP'd. Here comes the Diva Bomb. Triple kill again from O.C.C, getting that beauty bomb in the backline after the shield went down. Tribalize ends up taking out Danks as Lucifer falls Sniv right there. And climbing for the side of Void. Wow, this is becoming quite a tough match. What Projekt needs to do to prevent them from getting team wiped so quickly like that?
Honestly, it's such a hard combo to deal with. Running something like a Brig in there is really huge, but it's kind of late to be doing that now. Takes me like, absolutely not. You get no Dragon Strike.
Oh man, Lucifer ended up taking out, I believe it was Helix Snake right there, but the Shatter coming in from Danks stopped the rest of that. The Anti-Nade going in on both Maudan and Danks right now, trying to hold together as Maudan takes out Dad. Looks like they might be able to recontest the point right here. 80% and climbing for the side of Void as the beat drop comes in from Tribalize, trying to keep everything going. Lucifer coming in now as the Farad takes out K10, as well as Cake Slapper. Maudan does team XFC. Here comes the Graviton in from Sniv as Danks and Sniv clean up, allowing them to retake control. 99% for the side of Void, 46 and climbing now for the side of Projekt Proteus.
That grab was it was really, really a good job.
Grab was incredibly well timed, and they focused the player that they needed to. Getting O.C.C out of mech so that they weren't able to eat that up was very good timing, but Rip and O.C.C on the EMP Diva Bomb combo to prevent. What would you suggest here, Widow?
They're gonna kind of need to understand that they have to kind of watch Sips. I mean, like, okay, well, Sips is seeming to be a little... He's like standing position where he's going to throw a bomb, and they need to immediately start anticipating it. They're not doing that.
All right, well, K10 on the Lucio trying to be the Reddit, ends up getting taken out by Dad. Lucifer getting the double kill with the barrage on Sniff and Maudan. 99% now as overtime ticks away. Cake Slapper able to touch the point, but gets taken out by Dad as O.C.C takes out Danks with the rockets. Able to touch the point, but overtime is going to tick away. Void going to be walking away with the series 3-1. Away Busan here on Sanctuary. The game going to the O.C.C. Honestly, I believe that if O.C.C could a Diva highlight thing where they were actually like drinking tea or something, like that would totally be theirs. I just feel it.
I have to. Oh God. I
have feel to it. 34 eliminations, 79% kill participation coming in from O.C.C that game. Oh. Wow. Holy goodness. Well, folks, it is that time of the night with Void taking their third victory and the series. We're going to go ahead and send it into the chat. Give us your players of the match for tonight. Widow, why don't you go ahead and start us off with who you believe your player of the match should be tonight?
It's a tough one. This is definitely a tough one. You know what? I'm actually going to give it to Helix. And this is why. Helix has been on a silver team for so long, and he's always wanted to move up to a gold. And he's finally here. And you know what? I think he played really well tonight. I think he was really smart about who he picked. He was in the backline. He's doing the right thing when he was supposed to. He wasn't, taking away huge medals or getting gigantic plays or anything, but he was holding his own, and that's something to be really proud of. I think we saw a lot of things that are very common from other teams, so I'm not going to give them play the match because they're doing things that I've seen them do 100 times. You know what I mean? Helix coming in and finally playing in a higher tier and actually doing a good job, doing a great job. He was switching to things he needed to. But I also do kind of want to give a shout out to K10. K10 was doing an amazing job when he was playing Soldier. He was doing an amazing job when he was playing Zen. K10, my hard flex, right to the heart, doing a great job. So, but I really do have to give it to Helix, though. Helix got in for his first game on a gold team. He was doing a really good job. So I got to compliment him on that.
Absolutely. Helix now joining Project Proteus. You know what? I've always kind of thought about this. The big plays, the big flashy plays are never like the thing that you got to focus on. Yes, you get that one team kill, but did you win the match? Did you win the series? Like, those are the things that you really need to be focusing on, because you can get those flashy kills anytime, every time. But if you're like in any of my comp matches, those flashy big ultimate kills may come down, but you're not going to be walking away with the victory at the end. So being able to work with the team, knowing to roll on the team, especially as the new member coming in, Helix, you did do an incredible job, but I'm going to have to give my love tonight, who has an incredibly great name and was doing a great job, I believe, in their first match tonight, and that's going to be to the slapper of cakes. Cake Slapper, you're going to get my player of the match tonight, because playing on the brig, like, if it wasn't for your name, I would think that you're not really big on slapping things, but man, just doing an incredible amount of damage on the brig as the Moira, always sticking with your team, throwing out a lot of those healing orbs, able to get picks on the people that are coming into your backline to help protect K10 on the Zenyatta when Lucifer kept trying to come in and pick him off. Just doing an incredible job doing both healing and essentially DPSing for your team. So Cake Slapper, you got my player of the match tonight. Peeps!
I am going to go with Sip's team. Just a lot of good bombs. I tend to give two people, so if I did do two this time, it would be Riff and Sip's T. But yeah, just some good bombs that were enabled by some good EMPs. So good game to both of them.
Absolutely. It just seemed to be like a symphony, if you will. You just see Rith just kind of invisible, just like da na 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 EMP, and then Sips T is like busting out like ba ba diva ba, just like the big horn section, if you will, just like boom.
That combo is so hard to deal with, but if you anticipate it, it's irrelevant. If you track both of those ults, if you watch the Divas, I'm telling you right now, all the way up to GM, every single Diva bomb is anticipatable. You just, the way they start to move, the way they start to position themselves, the only time you can't really tell when a Diva's gonna bomb is she just kind of stops in mid-place and drops it. But you could always tell when a Diva's gonna throw a bomb. So if you do that and you hear that EMP and you kind of see where the Diva is and you get behind the Diva's not gonna throw a bomb backwards, they're gonna throw it forwards. You get behind a Diva, it doesn't matter if you get EMP, the bomb's in front of you. So, just a note to all you kids out there.
Alright, looking into the chat, Sways Plays giving the hashtag to SipsT, and Loutrex giving the hashtag to KJonak, aka K10, on the side of Project Proteus, although I think that's a little biased, seeing that Loutrex is captain of Project Proteus, but I won't judge. I won't judge. K10 was definitely doing an incredible job tonight, as well as SipsT. So that is going to conclude us for this evening. Does anyone have anything else before I close us out?
Buy my book.
Part 2 of a widow's journey through OCCScrims, the bullying of Loutrex, available on Amazon and Price Chopper. So get the Price Chopper. Get that book. It's definitely important.
Screw you. I put it on Etsy because I'm an individual and a hipster.
That's right, Etsy. My apologies.
Etsy, and I carved it into slabs of stone, like the 10 Commandments. That's the only way you can buy it. Shipping is like $6,000 because they're slabs of stone.
Because it's so heavy.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, folks. Well, please support our fundraising efforts for the Heroes Never Die movement for the California Fire Foundation. Once again, we did reach $285 last couple of streams. You can donate anytime by going to the link below, OCCScrims/donate. Rather, apply to be a player, apply to be a coach, apply to be a commentator. Just apply to be a part of our community. I think the only thing that I haven't mentioned tonight is that if you want to be a part of our Discord group, you can either become a player or a coach or a commentator, or you can hit that big old subscribe button there at the top. $4.99 a month. That's $4.99, not $499. We're not looking to keep anyone out of college or anything like that.
Why?
As gaming's not that important, Widow.
I picked
Education
different.
is. But anyways, you hit that subscribe button, you'll get access to special content that we have on here, as well as getting access to our Discord, where you can talk to and play with our commentators, coaches, and players of each team. With that being said, that's going to finish us up for tonight. If you look at the schedule for the next couple days, we have been rather busy, and it's only going to get busier. Frost v Monarch tomorrow. Our Platinum team's going for their last match of the Overwatch 2018 season here at the Scrims at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Tuesday, wow, I don't know where that came from, December 22nd, gonna be our last Scrim of the season, gonna be the All-Star Scrim. People were voted for, and we have got an amazing matchup of two teams comprised of Silver through Diamond, the best of the best, coming at you at starting the All-Star Scrim at 7.
I don't know. I'm in it. I should probably know that, right?
Because it says 7 o'clock in the schedule,
I think that it is,
but nobody's told me it's 7 o'clock.
We'll double check that and make sure, but I think it is.
All right, so we'll double check that. So it'll either be at 7 or it'll be at our usual 8:30. But honestly, I'm gonna be a little bit surprised. Might hear some kiddos in the background if it's at 7 o'clock. I'm gonna be a little early for bedtime at that point.
Watch tomorrow because I'm playing. Watch Saturday because I'm playing. Vote for Monarch in Team 4 Elfie. Thank you.
Oh, goodness. Well, feel free to also follow us, the commentators. I myself, you can find on Twitch anytime at twitch.tv/CaptainJack87. And Widow, I don't know what you usually have on here. Do you have a Twitter follow? A Twitter handle?
Yes,
I'm so tongue-tied tonight.
Widow_Faker.
All right, so Widow_Faker at Twitter. So go ahead and follow either of us. With that being said, that's going to finish us out for tonight. Our Gold's Void walking away with everyone. I'm Captain Jack.
I'm Widowfaker.
And I am Peeps. Good night.
And cameraman's Peeps. And wife's already Tertiary. Y'all have a good night.